Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Mo and Ash Vibes. We are back with another very important video on IELTS. Today in our video we are going to talk about some quick tips that will help you to boost your IELTS speaking score. So keep watching this video till the end so that you don't miss any of these important tips. Now first, let's quickly talk about the format of the IELTS speaking test. Now IELTS speaking test is divided into 3 parts. And this test usually lasts between 11 to 14 minutes. In part 1 of the test, the examiner will ask you to introduce yourself, your identity will be checked, and then the examiner can ask you questions that are related to your work, that are related to your occupation, some questions related to your family, your hobbies, your interests. So all these kind of questions, some basic questions about yourself will be asked in the part 1. In part 2 of the test, a particular topic will be given to you and you have to speak on that topic for about 1 to 2 minutes. You will also get 1 minute preparation time. After you are done speaking on that topic, the examiner can ask you about 1 or 2 questions related to that topic. In part 3, some further questions that are related to your topic will be asked from you. So this is the basic pattern of the IELTS speaking test. Now let's get straight to the important tips that will help you to boost your IELTS speaking score. Now the first important tip is that don't do rote learning. Now what does it mean? It is often seen that when people start practicing for their IELTS exam, IELTS speaking exam, they try to memorize different topics that are there online. For example, they would go online, they would search that what are the famous topics or what are the most asked topics or some sample topics for the IELTS speaking, and then they will try to memorize those topics. Now this is a very bad approach. First of all, there are so many topics out there, literally so many topics. So it is not possible that you can memorize each and every topic. Another drawback of rote learning is that if in the exam you forget any one line or any one word, there is a possibility that you will forget the entire thing and you will be blank, completely blank. So definitely rote learning is not a good approach. My second tip is that don't focus on the accent but focus on the fluency. Now the examiner is not testing your accent. He's not testing that whether you can speak in British English or American English. He doesn't care about that. As long as you are speaking good English, as long as you can communicate fluently, that's what matters. So do not focus on any particular accent. Just be yourself. Just focus on the right English. My third tip is that avoid using or making sounds like in between sentences. As I said, the examiner wants to see that whether you can communicate fluently or not, whether you have good communication skills or not, whether you can understand English or not, or you can speak in English or not. So they are trying to assess you on various factors. So when you make these sounds like in between the sentences, it can give an impression that maybe you are not fluent in English, or maybe you are confused about the question, maybe you did not understand the question, or maybe you are not confident, or maybe you are having difficulty in forming sentences. So it can give a very bad impression. So you should avoid making or using these kinds of sounds in between your sentences. But let's just say that the examiner has asked you a question and you feel like you need some more time to think about the answer. So in that situation, instead of using these sounds, you can replace it with some phrases. So this is my next tip to you, that instead of making the sounds, replace it with a phrase. For example, you can use phrases like let me think about it, or things like I haven't thought about it before, or that's an interesting question. So you can use these kinds of phrases. This will give you some more time to think about the answer, and at the same time it shows the examiner that you have understood the question, you are not confused about it, you just need some more time to think about the answer, and it also shows your confidence. And similarly, let's just say that the examiner asked you a question and you did not understand the question, or you have a doubt about that question. So in that situation, you should not hesitate to ask that question again from the examiner. So this is my next tip to you, that don't hesitate to ask the examiner to repeat the question for you if you did not understand the question properly. A lot of times it is seen that people feel shy in asking the examiner to repeat the question. So sometimes due to this, they either go blank, or sometimes they start answering the question without clarifying the question, due to which sometimes they give wrong answers or they misunderstand the question. So in that situation, let's say you misunderstood the question, then of course the examiner can feel that maybe you did not understand the question well, so there is a communication problem or there is an understanding problem. So that of course doesn't give a good impression. So it's always good to clarify the question in case you have a doubt. It is any day better than giving a wrong answer or going completely blank. My next tip is that don't just give one word answers. You should stretch your answers, expand your answers. For example, let's say the examiner asks you that, do you like football? Then you should not just say yes or no. You should stretch your answer. If it's a yes, then why do you like football? If it's a no, then why you don't like football? So you should always expand your answers, because if you are just going to say yes or no, it will show the examiner that maybe you are unable to communicate your thoughts to the examiner, or maybe you are unable to communicate your ideas, or maybe you are unable to express your opinions, or you cannot talk in detail about a particular topic, or maybe there is a problem in your communication in general. So it doesn't give a very good impression. So you should always expand your answers. At the same time, you can also use some linking words to express your ideas or opinions in a better way. For example, you can use linking words like at the moment, nevertheless, although, I suppose, I think. So if you're going to use these linking words, you would be able to express yourself in a better way. So you should always expand your answers and use some linking words. The next very important tip is that you should not worry too much about the content, because they are not going to judge you on the basis of how much knowledge you have about a particular topic. For example, let's just say that they ask you to speak on football. Now, they are not going to judge you on the basis of how much knowledge you have about football, but what they are going to see is that are you able to express yourself properly or not, whether you are using wide range of vocabulary or not, are your sentences grammatically correct or not, or are you using different sentence structures or not. They are also going to see that are you able to link your ideas properly or not. So they are going to judge you on these factors. So you should not worry too much about the content. At the same time, you should also focus on your tone. Now, sometimes what happens is when people start talking, they speak in one tone throughout, which also means that they don't give necessary pauses, or they are not stressing on the important words. So you should be careful about this, because if you are going to use one tone in your entire sentence, then it doesn't express your views properly. So in order to express yourself properly, you should be using different intonations and stress on the important words and take pause wherever it is necessary. You can even use hand gestures to explain a particular point or to explain a particular point of view. So you should be careful about these things as well. Last but not the least, practice, practice, practice. Keeping the points that I've mentioned in this video in your mind, you should practice as much as you can. Practice with different topics, try to solve as much sample papers as you can, then start speaking in English with your friends, with your family, at home, outside, wherever you go. Start speaking in English and record yourself when you are practicing, because this way you would know where you made a mistake, and then you can improve yourself and improve on those points. So record yourself when you are practicing. So practice as much as you can, because the more you will practice, the more confidence you will gain. And of course, if you are going to practice more, your English will definitely become better. So these were my quick tips on IELTS speaking that will help you to improve your score. If you have any questions related to our today's topic, feel free to comment in the section below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you have liked our today's video and if you have found this video helpful, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit the like button and share the content. Now I will see you in our next video. Until next time, ta-da!